What if you built a castle on an island that wasn't always there? A place where, twice a day, the sea swallows the land and then gives it back again. Picture this. You're standing on a vast, empty bay. The air smells of salt and wet sand. In the distance, a magnificent island rises from the mudflats, crowned with stone spires that pierce the sky. You decide to walk toward it. But as you do, a strange thing happens. A distant roar grows louder. A thin line of white water appears on the horizon, moving faster than a galloping horse. Within minutes, the bay you were just standing on is gone, replaced by a churning, treacherous sea. The island is now completely cut off from the mainland. You are witnessing one of the most dramatic natural phenomena on Earth. The tidal transformation of Mont Saint-Michel. This isn't just a castle. It's a geographical illusion, a medieval masterpiece built on a foundation that disappears and reappears with the rhythm of the moon for over 1,000 years. This place has defied logic, challenged invaders, and inspired pilgrims. But how did such a place come to be? And what is it really like to live in a fortress that the sea claims and releases every single day? Long before the first stone was laid, this was a place of power. Ancient Celts believed it was a sea tomb, a gateway between worlds. Later, Christian hermits sought solitude here, drawn by its impossible isolation. But the story truly begins in the year 708 with a bishop named Orbit. According to legend, the archangel Michael appeared to him in a dream, instructing him to build a church on this rocky island. Orbit ignored the vision twice. The third time, the archangel was less patient and reportedly left a burning finger mark on the bishop's skull. The message was clear. Construction began, but building a sanctuary on a tidal island was an act of faith bordering on madness. Workers had to time their labor with the tides. Supplies arrived by boat or over dangerous, shifting sands. Storms would wipe out months of progress. Yet, stone by stone, a small church grew into a fortified abbey. It became a beacon, a spiritual fortress that seemed to float between heaven and earth. By the 11th century, it was one of the greatest pilgrimage sites in Europe. But its unique location also made it a natural fortress. During the 100 Years' War, it withstood every English siege. Why? Because the English army would arrive at low tide, set up camp on the exposed bay, and prepare for an assault, only to be forced into a panicked retreat hours later as the sea rushed in. The island's greatest defender wasn't its walls, it was the ocean itself. So, let's dive into the mechanics of this daily miracle. What really causes this island to vanish? The secret lies in the unique geography of the bay. Mont Saint-Michel sits at the mouth of the Cowesnon River, in a vast, shallow basin. The continental shelf here extends far out into the Atlantic, creating a perfect ramp for the tide. When the gravitational pull of the moon and sun align, water is funneled into this shallow bay with incredible force. The tide doesn't just creep in, it races. It can travel at speeds over 6 kilometers per hour, and the difference between low and high tide can be more than 14 meters. That's the height of a 4-story building. This creates two completely different worlds. At low tide, you can walk around the island. The bay is a vast, shimmering plain of sand and mud, dotted with pools reflecting the sky. It feels solid, eternal, but it's a trap. The sand is famously treacherous. Quicksand pockets known as Sable's Movants can swallow a person whole. For centuries, pilgrims followed trained guides who knew the safe paths, marked by subtle changes in the sand's color and texture. Then, the warning horn sounds. The tide is turning. Within an hour, the entire landscape is erased. The sand vanishes under a surging, gray-green sea. The Mont becomes an island again, surrounded by powerful, swirling currents. The same water that was a mile away is now lapping at the fortress walls. This cycle has repeated itself, twice a day, for millennia living here required a profound understanding of these rhythms. The entire community, monks, soldiers, and later, townspeople, structured their lives around the tide. The sound of the sea was their clock. Food, news, and threats all arrived based on the water's schedule. This created a culture of patience and resilience unlike anywhere else. But in the 19th century, a new threat emerged, one the tides couldn't stop. Silt and sediment from farming began to clog the bay. With every passing decade, the island was becoming less of an island. The sea retreated further at low tide, and the causeway built for visitors acted like a dam, trapping the sediment. By the late 20th century, Mont Saint-Michel was in danger of being permanently connected to the mainland. Its magical transformation lost to the mudsoe. France launched one of the most ambitious geological rescue missions ever attempted. The goal, to give the island back to the sea. Engineers demolished the old causeway and replaced it with a light, elevated bridge that allows water and sediment to flow freely beneath it. They built a dam on the Cowesnon River that releases controlled flushes of water to scour the bay and carry the silt back out to sea. It was a monumental project, not to conquer nature, but to restore it, and it worked. Today, the tides are reclaiming their dominion. The Mont is an island more often and more dramatically than it has been for over a century. The magic is returning. Today, when you stand on the ramparts and watch the tide rush in, you're witnessing the same awe-inspiring spectacle that monks and knights saw 1,000 years ago. You're seeing a landscape reborn, a fortress that stands defiant against the elements, and a testament to human ingenuity, both in building it and in saving it. Mont Saint-Michel is more than a monument. It's a conversation between stone and sea, a place that reminds us that the most beautiful things are often the most transient. It teaches us that some boundaries are not meant to be permanent, but to be crossed, respected, and marveled at, day after day after day. What other natural wonder blurs the line between land and sea? Let me know in the comments, and your suggestion could be the focus of our next Wonder Explorer adventure.